We are pre-Hurricane Milton. This is Wednesday morning. It's what time is it? 9:30. 9:30 a.m. So we are pre-Hurricane Milton, and I've had a lot of people message me over the last couple of days and interested in how we're doing and what our plans are and things like that, and if we're safe. And we really, really appreciate everyone who has reached out and asked if we're okay and everything, and we are okay. I'm sorry, really kind of have been pretty busy over the last week or so. Wasn't able to get a video up last week, and I apologize for that. But things have just been pretty hectic, and here we go again. So we've got another storm rolling in. I understand that you guys are super busy and you're doing your own thing, and this is not our normal time for a live stream. But after receiving quite a few messages this morning asking us if we have a plan, what we're going to do, and if we're going to be safe and okay, I just thought I would do just a quick little live stream this morning to let you know that yes, we are safe. And I'm drinking my morning coffee. Um, and we do have a plan. We're working our plan. We have backup plans, and you guys know that we are fairly well prepared. Um, I see a lot of people, especially a lot of Florida natives, that are saying things like, "Oh, this is Florida. We know how to ride out a storm and stuff like that." Guys, this is not your average tropical storm, and I understand that you guys are super tough and super top macho and all that stuff, but this is not that kind of storm. They're estimating a Category 4 landfall near Tampa Bay. If you are in that area, if you haven't already evacuated, it might be too late. The roads are so packed up, and you don't want to get caught on the highway when this storm hits. So here's the thing. You need to find, if you are in a low-lying area, I know you guys have heard this from everybody, but if you are in a low-lying area, or you're in the direct path of this storm in a mobile home or something like that, you need to find a local shelter, not hundreds of miles away right now, because you're not going to be able to do that. You need to find a local shelter that you can go to that's going to be safer than the location you're in. If you're in a mobile home right now, you need to find local shelter. This is going to be this is going to be a life-changing event for a lot of people. Um, and I'm not trying to be inflammatory, or I'm not trying to hype this thing up. We need to take this thing seriously. So I am a Florida native, lifelong right here, and I've seen a lot of bad storms. This is something that we may not have seen before as far as a catastrophe down in the Tampa Bay, Tampa area in our lifetime. It's going to be terrible, and we are praying. I don't know what your religious background is or what have you. That's not my business, but we are praying for everyone that's in the path of this storm, that has family in the path of this storm, or is going to be directly affected. If you have a home in the path of this storm, we're praying for you guys, and it's going to be a terrible event. And I just hate to see all these Florida natives jump on Facebook and they're, we're from Florida, we're not getting out of here, we're going to stay in place. Because what happens with that is you have a lot of the transplants, we call them transplants, people from the north, wherever, and they're not used to this sort of thing. And they could literally stay because they think, oh, well, the Florida people are staying. And it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, guys. This is not the time to be macho. It's not the time to be the toughest guy on the block. Don't stand out in your street waving a flag because, whoa, look how tough I am. Look how strong I am. It's so ridiculous to put yourself in that kind of situation. Not only are you putting yourself in harm's way, but, you know, potentially you're putting a first responder in harm's way because of your stupidity. Don't do stupid stuff right now. This is not the time to be out there playing. And I know I'm kind of being a little harsh right now, but you need to know that this, there's a lot of people that are taking our example because we've been here, we've done it. We need to be setting good examples for these folks. And if you are in outlying areas, don't just assume that because you're not inside that little cone that you're good to go. That cone is just where the eye is possible to go. So Helene was 500 miles wide. So if, let's say that cone is, well, 200 miles off of you, well, that storm, you're still going to get some of that storm. It's 500 miles wide. I don't know how wide this one is. I really, honestly, haven't seen a lot on that. I feel like there hasn't been as much, like, in-depth coverage on this storm as there was Helene, and I don't understand it. Maybe I'm just not watching the right things, but I just feel like there hasn't been as much coverage on the storm. And it's going to be a rough one. Like I said, it's going to be a life-changing event for a lot of people, and it just worries me. But really, I just wanted to get on here and let you guys know that Sarah and I are doing good. We do have a plan. And Sarah and I prep. We have our preps up, and we're pretty much ready as we could be. We have hundreds of gallons of water stacked up or stored. We have a good amount of storage. We have pretty much everything that we could do to be ready for this storm, and we do have a plan in place if we have to do something. We are well out of where the projected path of this storm is. As you guys know, we are north central Florida, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to get some of this storm. So as the day progresses, I'm going to be watching this, and if it seems like we have to find a better location, or not find, if we have to go to a better location, I will make sure that we have plenty of time to get there. It's fairly local, and it won't take too long for us to get there. That is our backup plan. So if we have to, we can bug out and go to a better location. Now, like I said, we've been getting all these messages from people asking, are you guys okay? How did you do with the storm? We were very, very, I won't say lucky, we were blessed with Helene, that we didn't have a lot of damage here. There was a lot of damage surrounding us, but for whatever reason, we didn't have a ton of damage here. And it's, we were just very blessed in that, and we're still praying for that blessing to continue with this storm, and not only, the hurricane itself, this thing's going to spin off tornadoes and all kind of stuff. So it's just one of those things that we have to be very diligent about, just being ready. And this is one of those situations where, like, I typically always say, I carry a get-home bag, but I don't really have a bug-out bag. This is one of those situations where really you need a bag, a go bag, where you can just grab that bag and be ready to go. Now, we have a go box that we can throw in the vehicle, throw the animals in the vehicle, and we'll be gone. We do have, this is a hurricane, so we've got days to prepare. So we have, you know, done all the laundry in the house. We've made sure everything that we needed to do to get the place clean and ready for after the storm is done. So we've got clean clothes. We, got bags of stuff ready to go for clothes and stuff if we have to take off. And so we have prepared as much as we can prepare. That's something that, you need to think about too is, oh, well, a storm's coming, you know, I don't need to clean things up. But the thing you got to think about is after the storm. If you go a week or even more without electricity, it's going to suck if all your clothes were dirty when the storm hit. So that's just something to think about. Make sure your laundry's clean, your towels are clean. Um, and you should have hurricane kits. If you live in Florida, there is every chance every year that you're going to end up with a hurricane. It's not whether or not maybe we get hurricane season, guys. Hurricane season is every year. We get it. It's going to happen. So you need to have that stuff set aside and ready for these kind of storms. And it's just one of those things that, like we got Helene, and then look what happened in the mountains, up in the flooding and stuff up in the mountains and the dams, releasing and all that stuff. Those folks, they prepare, but they prepare for other things, winter storms and things like that, not necessarily hurricane type stuff. But they got it, whether they wanted it or not, they got the hurricane effect. So it's not something that just we should be prepared for. So this is something that, I hope that if you're watching this, if you watch this at a later date, I hope this is something that you kind of think about in the back of your head and you prep for. And it's a terrible thing. It really is a terrible thing. And it's just, it's something that unfortunately I see a lot of native Floridians just kind of, oh, well, it's just something we're used to. It's something we're used to. And we do get used to it and we get complacent about it. But when you get complacent about something like that, that's when it turns around and bites you. So you still have to be ready no matter what. I've seen some comments. Let me see if I can get some of these comments up here where I can see them. So let's see. See if I can do this without touching the screen. I see Hype with Mike's here. Butterbean Outdoors. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Donald Mike Gideon, appreciate you jumping on here. Timothy Lauren says here in Titusville, just about to get everything battened down. I hope you guys are good to go, man. I really do. We're praying for all of y'all. Mike says he's all set up with preparations for the storm. Yeah, man, I hate to see this, happening to everybody. I hope everybody's being safe. So Mad Mango said heard a hurricane winds can be 140 miles an hour or miles an hour from the eye. I'm sorry, 140 miles from the eye. And yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. So just because that storm, the eye is off of you, doesn't mean you're not gonna have effects of it. Jeff called Cadwalder. I'm sorry, man, I'm getting it wrong. Said, good job with the live stream. I appreciate it. I really feel bad I got your name all wrong. I apologize. Taka05, I see you, buddy. Hunkered down here in South Polk County. Man, we're praying for you too, buddy. Mike said waiting is the hardest part, Tom Petty. I hear you. All right, let's see. Davis too says, hey man, here in Aquawaha, we are prepped and ready to go biggest concern is tree damage to the house. Fingers crossed, you and everyone is safe. Well, we're pretty safe here, buddy. I think we're gonna do okay. Um, Lord willing. Hike Mike, trees falling down is the biggest threat. So something that's another thing that we need to think about is the fact that we have been getting, a considerable amount of rain prior to this storm. So even if we don't get a lot of the heavy winds, we will lose trees because of the root bases being all wet and just saturated. The ground is saturated already. And then after this storm goes through, they're saying that we're gonna have, you know, shoot 20 inches of rain in some places across the state of Florida. That's going to be devastating floods too. So it's one of those things that not just the hurricane, I can't remember what the statistic is, but the majority of deaths from hurricanes are from water, and that's something you need to think about. Now, I've had my experience working with a power company in the past, doing storm work, and we have a lot of people that watch the videos that do storm work. Not only are they linemen, they're first responders, fire department, even tree crews, things like that. Not only that, you got to think about the folks that are out on the roads, on the interstates, the tow truck drivers. My nephew is a tow truck driver. The guys that are out there on the interstates that are trying to rescue people that are stuck in these storms, because inevitably there's going to be breakdowns for people that are evacuating, and it's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I'm going to let you guys go because I do have some other things I need to do. But my daughter Carly, she lives in Tampa right now. She's going to school down there, USF. Well, we talked her into coming home. She didn't come home for Helene, which was, fine. But we talked her into coming home. And so, not last night, but the night before, she tried to come after work. And she was on the interstate for an hour or so. And it was just bumper to bumper, and she hadn't moved at all. And so she turned around and went back home and said, well, I'll take off early tomorrow morning, which was yesterday morning. I'll take off early and I will go ahead and head home. So she left roughly 5:30 yesterday morning. She didn't get back to Alachua until about 11 yesterday. So it took her 5.5 hours to get from Tampa to Alachua. And well, it's a road trip. It's hurricane evacuation that's going to happen. The roads are packed up. Now I'm going to get a little religious, a little whatever, philosophical here on you. Like I said, I pray. We pray. And we've been praying for Carly to come home safely and to get home safely. And it's just, I couldn't sleep until she got here. And it was just, I was a nervous wreck, daddy stuff. And I know she's an adult, but it's still hard. So I was just a nervous wreck, and I prayed for her, and I prayed for her. Carly drove 5.5 hours, 6.5 if you consider the other hour that she drove the night before. When she got back to Alachua, when she got back to town, where we are, where I could help her, the alternator went out on her car, her battery died, and she was stuck. Believe what you want to believe, think what you want to think. But personally, I believe the Lord had his hand on that child, and he brought her safely home where we could take care of her. And yesterday, we got her an alternator, I got her car fixed, and she's safely here to ride out the storm with her mama and us, where we can take care of her. She's an adult, but where we can be there with her if she needs anything. And I'm gonna just say, we don't do a lot of religious stuff on this channel. I don't do a lot of political stuff on this channel because that's not what this channel is about. But I just feel like at this particular moment, if you are a praying person, I don't care what your belief system is, if you're a praying person, just say some prayers for the people that are out there that are in the direct path of this storm and that are going to be heavily affected by this storm. Just not only residents, but first responders, the linemen, stuff like that. And these linemen, you guys, I know that it is hard to see people line trucks in your neighborhood and your power's still off. But you always hear people talking about the grid going down. Well, your power system is a grid. So each block has its own circuit. So, you know, your neighbor, they may have power, but they also may be on the next circuit. They may not have had any damage on that circuit. And it's not like the lineman can go up and flip a switch and turn the power on. That's not how it works. So these guys, a lot of times, will have to walk backyards. They have to walk easements. And they have to find where the outages occurred before they can fix them. And then a lot of times, if you've got trees down on lines, they have to remove the trees. They have to go in there and probably replace poles, which means that they have to drag poles in backyards and such and dig holes in the rain to try to set these poles and stuff. It is so much heavy, dangerous, exhausting work. And then these guys have to deal with power. You know, your house runs off of 240 volts, right? That's your high voltage in your house is 240 volts. These guys are working on transformers that is on the lower end 7,200 volts. So it is so simple to get killed out there. And these guys are doing that. They're busting their butts, soaking wet almost from the time they get started, guys. Soaking wet. I did it. I worked 17 hours for a month straight when I was doing it in 04. And I know it's a long time ago. I can feel it too. But we worked 17 hours for a month straight to get the power back on. And they send these guys out there before the storm. They send them right to the area that the storm is going to hit. That way, as soon as they have the opportunity, they can jump out there and start rebuilding and getting the power back on. And a lot of times the wind is still blowing. They can put lines up and everybody's like, oh, I got my power back. Oh, it's back off. Well, that's because they're trying to put the stuff back together. And then you have wet, soggy trees falling and taking the same lines down that those guys just put up. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Be patient with these guys. They're doing the best they can. And just try to put yourself in a situation, you know, where you have plenty of water, plenty of shelf-stable foods, and just understand that, you know, these guys are doing the best they can. So I want to pray for everybody out there. I want to say thank you for watching the video or watching this live stream. We do have a video that will be going tomorrow night. So if you're available to watch the video, I hope you can. It was a good trip, and maybe it'll get your mind off of what's going on for a few minutes. And if I can, if we have power, if we have internet, then I'll join you in the live chat like always. I'll check these comments one more time and see if there's anybody else on here. And then I'm gonna let you guys go. So I see Eeyore on here, buddy. I appreciate it. Eeyore said, looking at Hurricane right now, Gainesville, 23% chance of tropical storm winds. Yeah, so we should be pretty good. Mike said the linemen are awesome. Davis too said he was looking out for sure. Yeah, man, I believe that. And like I said, I don't do a lot of religious stuff on here, but you guys have your own beliefs, and I'm not trying to push anything of mine on you. So I see Woodall Trails. Appreciate it, buddy. He said this storm is no joke, and that's true. Ed Chaos, I see you. Just a heads up for locals. Amazon will shut down at 6 p.m. They won't start deliveries till Saturday. That's a good heads up. Hey Tori. Um, Tori is at home probably, or somewhere without Kevin, I'm sure, because Kevin is probably out on the storm. See Mac, hey buddy, I see you there. We're doing good here. Thanks for the prayers, appreciate it. Let's see, Matt Barwick, I see you, buddy. Thank you. Winter Haven. Yep. I hope you guys are safe, man. Just if you can't leave, hunker down, and we're praying for you. All right, everybody. So I think that's all I had. I just wanted to jump in here and let everybody know. Hey, Stitch, I see you. The Florida Outdoorsman. Hey, buddy. I just wanted to jump in here, like I said, and let everybody know that yes, we are okay, and just do a little live stream for a few minutes, and just let you know we're praying for all of y'all, and I will see you tomorrow night, hopefully, for the video in the live chat. If not, I'll see you after this whole thing is over. So we're praying for y'all, and y'all be safe out there.